Remember, my excellent drivers, you are responsible for the safe use of your vehicle and abiding by the state or territory rules that you are driving in, and that, of course, includes mobile phone usage. Hello and welcome to another episode of The Art of Confident Driving. I hope you are driving confidently, because if not, that's why you're here to listen. Today we are very happy to have Instructor John back to help us, so let's get on with it.
Hi Liz, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So today we're talking about how to find a good instructor and how to spot a bad instructor. What are your thoughts?
As a new student looking for an instructor, there's lots of important factors that you need to think about. Things like read reviews on your instructor that you're looking for. Word of mouth, there's several different ways to go about it. And word of mouth is always the best. If you've got a friend who's taken lessons with that instructor, you've got a good idea of what that instructor is going to be like. Also, reviews, namely Google reviews, etc. Have a look through them, see what you think of them.
I find Google reviews are more reliable, because Facebook, I mean, some of them are genuine, but you can actually purchase Facebook reviews, and it's harder to do with Google. So I would prefer Google reviews.
Yeah. So other things, qualifications, you want to make sure that your instructor is fully qualified and experienced. There's a lot of instructors who are just new starters, there's nothing wrong with that, but you do want an experienced instructor, not somebody who's going to sit there and just take you for a drive.
Yeah, I've had that with other students where they've come from another driving school and they said, oh, my instructor just got in the car and told me to drive.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're talking about, isn't it?
It happens. So you need to know that you're progressing. You need to know what you're doing. He's got to be able to give you instructions. You've got to follow them. He does not want to sit there quietly looking out the window and every now and again saying, oh, how are you doing? You actually need direction.
Yeah.
So really important. So yeah, you're looking for your certification. Make sure that's an approved driving instructor. Waiting times. Some of them have waiting times. Generally, if you've got to wait, they're probably a decent instructor.
Yeah, it's probably worth the wait.
Yeah. But waiting endlessly is not fun. We do understand that. But generally, if you don't have to wait, there's a good reason for it. Lesson frequency. So you need to know how many lessons they want to give you, how often you're going to get them. And the instructor can't say specifically how many lessons you need, but he can give you a guide. Things like that. Waiting times, lessons frequency. He'll give you a good idea of what to expect. Consistency is the key. Have driving lessons regular until you're at a good standard. Then maybe you can pull back a bit until the test. You want more lessons towards the test to prepare you properly for that test and to make you a safe driver.
Yeah, that's absolutely exactly what I would be saying as well. So for the good instructors, we're looking for a good presentation. So in other words, you're not turning up in Crocs and short shorts. And
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and the car is presented well. It's not dirty. It's not gross on the inside. It runs well. It's been taken care of.
Yeah, it's not an old heap of junk. So,
yeah.
It's got to be in good shape. Generally, first impressions count, as everybody knows. Teaching styles, everyone learns differently. Different instructors teach differently. Some students prefer clear instruction as well. Others prefer to be a little bit more interactive with it. Chat with your instructor before you take them on about how they teach and how they'll adapt to your needs. You may have anxiety, ADHD or whatever, little things like that, and it's not a problem. But make sure they've got experience in handling that sort of situation. Ask questions. You're paying for this, so make sure you ask these questions. Your instructor's got to be informative, like I say. Make sure they're giving you information, not just sitting there.
Yeah, and that's the point. The amount of times I've had students from other driving schools who just have not been given information. They've not been taught, quite frankly, how to do basic maneuvers, basic steering, basic pedal work. And that's our job as a good quality instructor, is to show all of those things, to give knowledge. I, of course, have my curriculum, which if any of you have been listening to the subscriber podcast, you'd know about. all of us really good instructors, we don't just jump in the car and say, okay, what do you want to do today? We've got a curriculum we go by where we're going to keep you in the back streets until you've got car control. Then we'll make our way to the busier roads. But you'll find that some of the poorer instructors, they just dump you out onto the really busy roads and expect you to be able to deal with that. And that's just not right.
That's right. And a lot of them, they'll actually control the pedals for you in the car.
Yeah.
You're not learning anything from that.
Yeah.
It's just exactly the way you said. You've got to do it on the side roads till you're comfortable. Then we get you on the main road slowly so you're confident, and then we move along from there. Maneuvers, test routes, things like that. And if you're not happy with your instructor, remember you're paying, change them. Don't stick with an instructor. You should enjoy your lessons. You shouldn't hate them or dread them. You're paying for them, get your money's worth.
Absolutely correct. I've had many students say they were almost in tears every time they even thought about their driving lesson. And then when they've had a few with me, they're like, they can't wait to jump in the car.
It's so true. I've had it where instructors shouted at the students.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you pay to be shouted at?
Exactly. And it doesn't help. All it does is increase the stress in the car with both people, and it doesn't make the job any easier. And certainly the students rattled because they think, oh my goodness, anytime I do anything wrong, I'm going to get yelled at. And guys, I would really like you to remember this. As a learner driver, you are going to make mistakes, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Because, come on, we all make mistakes, but more importantly, we're learning something extremely complex. So as instructors, we expect you to make mistakes, or as good quality instructors, we expect you to make mistakes, and it's up to us to help you through those and learn from them.
That's right. And also, we've got you back. So if you do make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. No. We've got to move on from it. We'll do that maneuver or whatever again and again until you're comfortable with it. That's pretty much what it's about. You've got to enjoy that. You've got to look forward to your lessons, not dread them.
Indeed. So you used to own a rather large driving school over in England, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah. So I would have imagined you would have seen some pretty good and some pretty ordinary instructors over there.
Well, the pretty ordinary instructors didn't stay too long because we kept a check on them. We would do test drives with them every now and again. We'd sit in with the students and just make sure that they're up to standard. Plus, in the UK, they have tests every year, maybe every 18 months, depending on what grade you are. Anybody under a grade 4 we wouldn't have.
Right.
Until they'd made the grade back up.
Yeah. So over there, the instructors, they've actually got different levels. It's not just straight across the board like we have here in Australia.
That's right. Yeah.
Where, I can call myself an instructor and I'm no ego involved here. I'm pretty good at my job.
Yeah.
And then another person who has come from overseas, done a license conversion, and then gone and done the instructor's course, they can also call themselves an instructor.
That's right.
And that's totally two different instructors.
Absolutely. There's no governing over it.
No. So I believe that England's got it quite right there, where there should be different levels of instruction and therefore different levels of perhaps remuneration payment to the instructor. So if you've got a really high quality instructor, they should get more money because they've got more knowledge and they will pass that knowledge on to you.
Yeah. And they'll usually pass it on quicker as well.
Absolutely.
They'll bring you on a lot quicker.
Yeah. And that's the thing. If you're having a lesson and you're not getting taught correctly, it will take longer. And it doesn't matter how many times you go and try and practice. If you're not practicing the correct methods, it's not going to get any better. So unless you're taught correctly in the first place, you really are wasting not only your time, but your money.
That's true. And repetition is a big thing, especially I teach manual. So clutch work, there's a lot of repetition in it until you're doing it smoothly and confidently. Gear work, we've got to be in the correct gear for turns, for stops, etc. You don't want to be slamming it into first gear before you come to a stop. You're going to stop in second gear gently, and you will pull over close to the gutter, but not in the gutter.
Mm.
If you start doing a maneuver and you're in the gutter, you've got to get out of that gutter.
Mm.
So if you're maybe doing a reverse in a straight line, you're going to turn your wheel, and then next minute you're on the grass.
Yeah.
So there's things like that. And those things must be taught early on, not last minute, just before you test.
Mm.
It needs to be in your head early so that when test days comes, you don't think too much about it.
Exactly right. And really good quality instructors, they will start you off from moment one. So I had a couple of new bookings the other day, brand new students, they'd never driven before. And I actually, just as we were pulling out from the curb, I was just saying the procedure, which is, of course, mirror, indicate, blind spot.
Yeah.
Now, as I said to them, I haven't taught you blind spots yet, but that's okay. I'm just getting used to the method, right? The procedure of pulling into and out of the curb. So even if they don't do it yet because I haven't taught it to them, they'll get used to hearing my voice in their head saying, oh, yeah, I've got a mirror, indicate blind spot.
That's right, yeah.
So talking your way through it. And I'm so happy you said that, John, that an instructor shouldn't just sit next to you and say nothing. They should be, I won't say constantly, but they should be very much active, giving you directions on what you should be doing. They should be training you in to the right procedures, not correcting bad mistakes.
That's right, yeah. And it's got to be a comfortable situation in the car. So, like, occasionally I'll drop a dad joke or something, and it sort of softens the atmosphere, makes it a little bit easier for them.
Yeah.
And like I say, they've got to enjoy that lesson. It's so important that they look forward to it, and they will progress quickly that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And also for your really raw beginners, you guys out there who really haven't touched a car before, don't think you've got to drive for the whole hour. That is very hard work. So if your instructor is not pulling you over every 15 or 20 minutes just to have a little wee rest, just for a minute or two, then maybe you should ask, look, can we just pull over? My leg's starting to get sore, or my arms are starting to get sore, or my brain's about to explode because it's full. So, you want to take that time and say, I want to learn properly. I don't want to feel pressured with this. This is one of the most complex things you'll ever learn. So don't pressure yourself, and certainly don't think I've got to do everything right straight away, because it's just not going to happen.
That's right. It is difficult on your first few lessons. I mean, it's hard in any car, but because there's so much going on, you've got to think about so much. When you're on the clutch and off the clutch, so many times on that first lesson, your leg will start to shake.
Yeah.
So exactly what you just said there, you got to have a rest for every few minutes, calm down, and then off we go again.
Exactly.
It's important that you're not full on the whole time. It's mind-blowing for young 16-year-old kids.
Well said. I mean, when you're much more experienced, the 80 hours, you should be able to take an hour, no problem at all. But certainly, even in the first 20 hours, I recommend just once an hour pull over, at least.
Yeah, so some instructors do 2-hour lessons. I have not done a 2-hour lesson for years now.
Yeah.
I've done them in the past for people who insist on having them, but I really don't do them. It's a bit too long for someone.
Especially with people like us, because we actually teach the whole time, don't we? It's not like we're just sitting back and chilling.
Yeah.
We're actively teaching that student. So they're absorbing and they're learning, and they're having to correct probably previous habits. So it is hard work. So yeah, a 2-hour lesson, I get that a lot. A lot of parents phone me up and say, I want a 2-hour lesson for little Johnny or Betty. And I'm like, how many hours have they done? And they'll say, 5. I'm like, no. No, you don't want to do a 2-hour lesson with me at 5.
It's expensive and it's hard on the kid. It really is. Student, I shouldn't say kid. Other things we need to look for. As a driving instructor, you need to follow the code of conduct. We have our own code of conduct, and that is to conduct ourselves properly. So things like no bad language, no dodgy comments, to dress properly. You don't want an instructor who dresses in flip-flops or thongs. You don't want anybody who smokes in the car. You can instantly tell if somebody smokes in the car because you can never get it out. What else would you say regarding the code of conduct? Yeah,
absolutely. Inappropriate comments, inappropriate touching. There are times I do have to grab a student's hand because it's around the wheel in the wrong spot, but it's nowhere near their body. It's just their hands. And again, if the student is feeling uncomfortable, they should say something. Don't just sit back and take it. But I've heard of a lot of bad stories, especially being female. I've heard of a lot of terrible stories over the years.
Yeah, it does go on.
It does. And it's not right. And please speak up. Don't be quiet about it.
Yeah, things like that. It's your money. It's your choice. If you're not happy, don't sit there and take it. Do something about it. Change your instructor. Have a word with whoever about it.
Yeah. The other thing I think that we just had a quick chat about before we started this is don't automatically buy a 10-lesson package. What if you don't like the instructor? That's the biggest problem. You think, I'm going to save some money if I buy a 5 or a 10-lesson package.
You're committed, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You have now committed to that person. And what if every single time you get in that car, you're thinking, I do not want to be here? It's just a waste of your time and your money. So look, I guess both of us would say, just try them out for an hour.
Absolutely.
It's worth paying the little bit extra.
I never let anybody book a block straight away.
Yeah.
So have one lesson, make sure you're comfortable, make sure you like the car, you like the instructor, the way we teach, and make sure you're happy, and then book your block of lessons or your package.
Exactly. As you said, and as I've said many times, if you don't like your instructor, don't go back.
That's right.
There's plenty more out there. They're not all good, but
No.
there's plenty.
I mean, we're not perfect.
No,
we
nobody's
have our
perfect.
faults.
Yes,
But,
we do, but we're pretty much polished by now. You know, we're gone
experienced. Yeah.
Yeah, we've gone through I don't know how many thousands of students.
I wouldn't like to say.
No. Yeah, between us, my goodness. But yeah, it's a matter of, you know, as John says, it's your money, guys. So spend it wisely. Don't just throw it around and don't think the cheapest will do. Because again, if you're not learning, you're just, again, wasting your money.
That's so true.
Thank you so much for being on again, John. We look forward to seeing you next time. And
You're welcome.
happy and safe driving.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye. And my full driving lessons are available on Apple Podcasts and the artofconfidentdriving.com website, where you will get access to instructional videos. Remember to relax and enjoy the drive. See you next time.